Hey kids, it's the Britt Show, where you'll see that your mom's a holy moly. You won't learn anything except moaning on your neighbor's ring. That's what you get when you listen to What the Britt. You'll realize that we're all just pieces of shit, soon blind with pooping rats on it. Ask me why I'm so high. Drop the pants and show off your big giant ballroom. Use it the place where we can all play together forever and ever. Here is Britt sitting on the beat.
Bear with me, guys. My mom-in-law sent me the text, "Being sober loosens my lips." And I'm like, okay. And then she proceeded to send this audio clip.
Knox County Police Department.
You was the one that come up here and brought my son in a squat car. Talking some mess about how he took his go-kart on the highway and didn't have no helmet on. I'm going to tell you something. I'm about red-iced over it.
Sir, I'm not familiar with the incident. I'm just a dispatcher.
Some deputy looked like his balls ain't dropped. Said Ernie Michael didn't have no helmet. I said, I told him to. I said, son, these people laid down their lives in this country so you wouldn't have to wear no helmet.
Well, if he's on the interstate in a go-kart, we will pull him over.
Good luck. He don't stop for no one, and his Honda run like a scalded dog.
Best thing for you to do right now is get off this phone and sober up. This line's being recorded.
I tell you what, you are lucky I've been drinking. Being sober loosens my tongue.
Now, wasn't that a hoot? That darn redneck knows how to make a dang amazing call to the police. Well, actually, I didn't tell my mom-in-law that. Instead, I say, that was a good call-in, but the cop telling the guy to sober up, that really freaking annoys me. I mean, they always offer advice as if they're subhuman robots who do nothing wrong. Ugh. And her response was, well, I thought that was hilarious. My mama's people in Kentucky talk just like that. And, of course, I didn't miss the point of the text, but I did realize that my response wasn't what she wanted to hear. She's one of those back the blue kind of people, and I knew that she didn't really want to engage in that kind of dialogue, so I go ahead and reply with, yeah, it was very funny. I just got hung up on the cops. Sorry, lol. And yes, I am one of those guys who perpetually isn't a fan of law enforcement. If there's a story about the cops being bad, I say, oh, who would have predicted? It's hard to find the bad apples that don't get spoiled by the rotting ones that rub next to each other in those pre-bagged, over-ripened little packages in the grocery store. There's not much anyone can do to convince me otherwise, unless all of the cops got fired, and then they got replaced by unwilling volunteers that didn't even want to be there, that have the consistent track record of volunteering at the nursing home bingo on Thursday nights. But that's pretty far-fetched, right? To expect all of the police force to get fired and just replace them with someone that didn't even want to join. So if you spend a good deal amount of time on social media, I bet that you've probably stumbled across Officer Tommy Norman. He's the celebrity cop of North Little Rock, Arkansas. Honestly, I'm not even convinced he does anything that police do outside of trying to convince us that there are the good guys. I know he's a good guy, but how the hell does he post online 24/7 doing nothing but charity runs? He frequently shows Special Needs Davy getting spoiled by online fans' sock donations, or Lois, this big woman of size that acts like she's his darn wife of 25 years always giving him the tood. Now, I love Officer Norman, but I can't stand how he doesn't use his platform to stand against his brethren who constantly abuse their power, the ones that consider themselves above the law. This makes me feel pretty confident that Officer Norman must be fake, or he's putting blinders on so he doesn't have to call out all those jerk-offs in the pig force. I've had several piss your panties in fear moments with the police across the United States during my youthful years that furthered my stance on this subject. I'm just a little tiny white girl, and I still feel like I've been persecuted. Now, I plan to go into the details of those experiences sometime in the future, but it's really just not what I'm feeling right now. I can't even imagine what it would be like to be a minority and have to deal with the police. And even though all of this shat annoys me, I stopped watching all the sports that took a knee. Okay, you caught me. It was really only freaking hockey. I don't watch sports much, and I'm not desperate enough for golf yet. I was watching hockey for a little camaraderie, for the lighthearted fights, and I didn't want to have some kind of emotional reaction about George Floyd's horrific death. I don't care if George was on drugs, had COVID, or ate the last slice of pepperoni pizza. 8.5 minutes with a pleading crowd of people begging the cops to get off of him was 8.5 minutes too much. But let's save that for another time. Not during hockey. You might consider it hypocritical that I think that the social media cop needs to pipe up and call out those other bad eggs. But the thing is, it's the integrity of his job. If internal investigations worked, we would see police officers that took action when needed, not just when it takes a chance to kick a man who's already down. So please send this request to Officer Tommy Norman. Please take a stand against all police corruption. And you guys, ask yourself, when you hear the sirens or see a cop car when you're driving, do you feel safer? Or do you check your speed, perk up, and ask yourself, is there anything that you might be pulled over for, that you're doing illegally, that you didn't even try to do illegally, but somehow you might wind up in jail? Did the alcohol from your Listerine mouthwash fully dissipate? Or is today your day for a DUI? Now, if any of what I said bothered you, you probably know some swine personally, or you just vote R for retard on election day. Hope I didn't offend you more than you deserve. If anything, you listen to a moderately hilarious call-in to the police. Happy September.